Grade 8, Quiz 12. Directions. Read the passage below and answer the questions that follow. Queen's English by Janice Weaver. Paragraph 1. The English language, now spoken by about half a billion people worldwide, was actually brought to England by invaders from northern Germany. In the mid-5th century AD, 3 seafaring tribes, the Angles, the Jutes, and the Saxons, saw their chance to fill the void left by departing Roman soldiers and launched their own assault on the southern and eastern coasts of England, or the land of the Angles. The language they carried with them across the cold and stormy North Sea developed into Old English, then Middle English, and finally Modern English, the most widely used language in the world. English is often accused of being an impossibly complicated language, horribly difficult for non-native speakers to learn. It is full of words like ate and enough and fain, which look as if they should be pronounced something like a get and oat and feigen, but of course are not. In fact, though, people who study languages tell us about 84% of English words are entirely straightforward and get pronounced exactly as they seem they should. Another 13% follow the rules closely enough that most people can sound them out without making too many mistakes. The problems lie in the final 3%, a small but troublesome group of words that don't behave in any predictable fashion and simply have to be committed to memory. Unfortunately, for anyone trying to learn the language, that 3% includes 400 of our most commonly used words, such as of, for, done, and love. English is probably the world's most well-documented language, and this is one reason why so many illogical spellings have survived through to the present day. People began producing English language dictionaries almost as soon as the printing press was invented in Europe in the 1400s. And these dictionaries fixed, perhaps for all time, many of the spellings that make the least sense to us today. Over the past 4 centuries or so, a number of people have argued for the simplification of English spellings. One of them, Noah Webster, the creator of 1828 American Dictionary of the English language, was successful enough in his efforts that, to this day, Britons and Americans spell many words differently. Webster gave the word -or spellings instead of -our, favor/favor, -er instead of -re, center, and -yze instead of -yse, analyze. He also introduced many phonetic spellings, that is, spellings based on how words sound, including skeptical or skeptical, plow for plow, and check for check. One theory is that Webster hoped to make the language more rule-abiding so that Americans, who tended to have less formal education, could more easily learn to read and write. But Webster was, by all accounts, a grim, miserable man, and in the end he was not able to talk people around to accepting some of his more radical changes, like spelling women as women and tough as tough. He learned that the more common a word is, the greater the resistance to changing it. There's hardly an English speaker on earth who won't, for example, oppose spelling of as of, whether it makes more sense or not. We hang on to many of our oddest spellings because, for one thing, they reflect the English language's far-reaching linguistic ancestry. Though it began life as a Germanic dialect, English has, over 1,500 years, picked up influences from all over the world. It is estimated, for instance, that when the Normans ruled England from 1066 to 1154, they introduced 10,000 French-derived words into the language, a full 3/4 which we still use today. We have also borrowed freely from Latin, Greek, Danish, Swedish, Spanish, and even Russian. In fact, many people have argued that one of the greatest strengths of English is its willingness to embrace words from just about anywhere. We adopt, without translation, terms like macho, kindergarten, maitre d', that gives our language a richness and inclusiveness that other languages sometimes lack. Today, most language experts agree that there are about 200,000 English words in everyday use. French makes do with roughly half that number. With a language so vast, we can often be more precise with meaning than non-English speakers, distinguishing between, for example, earth and ground, house and home, story and history, and the language continues to grow and evolve, transforming itself to meet the requirements of an ever-changing world. When the first English language dictionaries were published, they listed about 3,000 words. Samuel Johnson's landmark Dictionary of the English Language, published in 1755, contained 43,000 words, and the granddaddy of all of them, the Oxford English Dictionary, has a mind-boggling 615,000. When you add all the scientific, medical, and technical terms that don't get included in dictionaries meant for the general public, you're probably talking about millions of words, with perhaps tens of thousands being coined with each passing year. Number 1. Which statement provides the best summary of this selection? A. The English language is the most complicated language in the world and is spoken by 500 million people in the world, though it originated in Germany. B. Modern English is considered the most widely used language in the world. C. The complex English language has a long history of including words from many languages and continues to evolve to meet the requirements of an ever-changing world. D. The English language is the world's most documented language because of the large number of English language dictionaries that have been created as early as the 1400s. 2. According to the selection, why is English one of the world's most well-documented languages? A. There have been many publications of dictionaries. B. It is a blend of so many other languages. C. There are about 200,000 words in everyday use. D. It is spoken by 500 million people. 3. How does paragraph 5 most contribute to the text? A. It helps the reader identify the most difficult words in the English language. B. It explains why some words still have odd spellings. C. It shows Webster's commitment to documenting the English language. D. It illustrates how deeply English speakers love the English language. 4. Reread this sentence from paragraph 6. In fact, many people have argued that one of the greatest strengths of English is its willingness to embrace words from just about anywhere. What does embrace mean as it is used in the text? A. To learn from. B. To hold tightly. C. To show affection for. D. To use and include. 5. Which of the following claims is supported by sufficient evidence from the text? A. A majority of people would like it if English was simplified. B. English uses more words than any other language. C. Many common words in English don't follow any rules. D. English is more similar to French than any other language. 6. How does the author prove her claim that English users resist simplifying English spelling? Use at least 2 details from the text to support your response. Number 6. How does the author prove her claim that English users resist simplifying English spelling?